Let's start with car insurance next. This one.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Shifting Gears. I'm your host, Clutch. It's just me tonight. Going to have a lot of fun checking out the Tera online MMO that was launched today. For those that pre-ordered, they've been able to play throughout the weekend during the beta period. There's also a lot of news happening right now with Kespa, Blizzard, OnGameNet, and GOM TV having a big conference in Korea. Team Liquid has live coverage going down right now. They just announced that the OnGameNet and Kespa will have StarCraft 2 leagues, which, you know, we all kind of knew that was going to happen. Some updates hopefully soon will be about what's going to happen with Brood War. Are these going to be the final nails in the coffin? What's going to go on there? So there's a lot of buzz happening about that conference right now. Also, for you Gears of War fans, there is a new tournament that's been announced with a prize pool of $5,000. It is an online tournament. You can go to gow.se for more information and to register your team. Fatal Strike posted a video on his YouTube about it, and maybe I'll get to cast one of the weekends that it has been announced, the first and second weekend in June. That'd be a lot of fun. I really appreciate the Gears community. They're really passionate about their game, and that tournament sounds like a major achievement for that entire community, and I look forward to the participation and the content and the good times that are going to come out of it. So, right now, we're going to cover Tera. So I'm going to go ahead and load it up, and I'm going to take any of your questions you have in the chat channel when I'm playing through. It can range anything from the combat to PvP to PvE to visuals. This is a very visually appealing game. So appealing that I decided to make a female character, and you will see why. The art style is definitely something to take into account of how beautiful this game is. So we're going to go ahead and load it up. This is the launch screen, like most MMOs have. Tell you what news is occurring. I may have to change some video settings here because this game is very graphic intensive, but hopefully it'll run fine. It's ran fine before, so it's going to go ahead and load up here. Add game. So while the game's loading, I hope everybody had a great week. I'm graduating this Friday. So excited! Finally graduating from school. I did have time to do this show, and I will have time to do the show next week. Next week will be a lot of fun. We are going to celebrate Diablo 3 being released. The following week, there will be no Shifting Gears. Well, there kind of will be, because I'll be streaming Diablo 3 most likely, or at least getting prepped for it. Maybe joining a release party. Anyway, enough about that. Let me optimize the game here. Boom, boom, boom. Give me 1 second, ladies and gentlemen. But as you can see, the visuals are very, very appealing here. That background that's kind of what the in-game graphics are like, which I don't mind at all, but it is very nice. Okay, screen window. Almost ready. Just got to load screen window here. And there we go. We should be good to go. So this is Tera. This is the login screen. This is the character I have made. Obviously, as you can see from my name, I wasn't very creative with her. I just put Clutch JG. But if I can change your name one day, I would change her to Jade Missile. I think it's a cool sounding name. Already hit the play button. Already get this started, but that's a very nice dress. And the females in this game wear cocktail dresses everywhere if you play a priest, which is kind of funny. This is a subscriber game. The first 30 days are free, but you do have to give them a card. That's how it works. So this is the game layout, okay? Here are your missions on the right-hand corner. You have a secondary map that is way more detailed than this compass map. You have your moves down here, your different abilities, chat, health up top. The stamina system I'll get into a little bit later. So, pretty standard, right, when it comes to an MMO. The layout is pretty standard. But, this is not standard. That is your targeting system. That's your reticle. That is how you place your spells, and that's how you fight. And you have to use that reticle for almost everything you do. Now, this is just mouse movement, but if I press Alt, then the mouse pointer comes up on my UI, and I'm able to select what I need to. But that's how it works. And so if I use an ability, it'll go to where I'm aiming. So it's almost like a third-person shooter, more or less. Anyways, I'm level 36 right now. It's been kind of the same thing over and over again. Go to a new area, do the quest, kill a bunch of stuff, turn it in, have a little story mode, there's a little cutscene, but there is a lot of repetitiveness, not in a grinding way, but in, oh, it's the same mechanics of the AI I'm fighting, I just got to do this over and over again. But that's part of the level building in an MMO. Anyways, let's show off the Frost Lion mount. This mount was available to players that pre-ordered the game, and I have to say, ladies and gentlemen, this mount looks incredible. So, as you can see, the detail of this lion is pretty good for an MMO. The graphics are pretty nice, and it's a beautiful sky, by the way. But the lion is pretty sweet looking. I'm riding a freaking lion, okay? And you move around, he growls a little bit, but you move pretty fast. But my favorite feature about the lion is he can do this. Dude, that's way better than a horse neighing anytime. So, the lion is pretty cool. You're able to have a horse at level 11, which I found to be very nice, because it gets very annoying very quickly to continually run everywhere. However, you get a white stallion, which the ladies ride sideways. I think English style is the proper name for how they ride, like that. But they bray, they neigh, when you press the space bar. So those are mounts. And that's pretty key when you continually need to level in an MMO is travel, right? But why not travel in style? So I am in this area called, I'm outside Pura Ilinu. There's a lot of names that are a little bit different. It's not like Star Wars The Old Republic. You're like, oh yeah, I know that planet, Hoth. Now this is all new. But these are the graphics, guys, and as you can see, they put a lot of detail in the different lighting mechanics. They put a lot of detail in the textures. They put a lot of detail in the colors. And I'm under attack. Hold on. Let me show off. Yeah, get away from me. there's a lot of detail in this game. And it's very, very, very pretty to see these different areas and the allure that these different areas have, the design these different areas have, is definitely unique. One of the places I just came from was actually like a pirate town, a pirate bay. And really enjoyed the atmosphere, enjoy the music. There's one song that plays when you're at a ranch that sounds like the song, Epona song, from Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time, which anybody who's a gamer that played those amazing Zelda games will instantly recognize. However, it reminded you of that song. It was very peaceful, very nice. The music is very, very, very fitting. And when you defeat huge monsters, they call them BAMs, which is an acronym for Big Ass Monsters. It plays a really cool song. Looks like I found a new outpost. So, quest mechanics, real simple. Question mark means you have something to turn in or to talk to somebody. Exclamation point means they have a quest for you.
Slow down.
And F is the interaction key in this game, not E.
How can I help the Federation?
But the voice
can bring us together.
The voice acting is usually when you have that initial encounter, that initial reaction to a NPC. But they will not read or have voice acting for the actual quest, like they did in Star Wars: The Old Republic, where everything was voice acted. It almost feels like a step back, honestly. But
I can help with many things.
Just gonna grab some quests here.
I mean, hello?
Also, as a reminder, this game came out in Korea, I think about a year ago, and it has been transferred over to the US, translated and rebuffed and everything they needed to do to release it here in the United States, and it officially came out today. But as I said earlier, there was a pre-release access you could have from pre-ordering the game. So I need to kill some stuff. Let's see. Rita, hypnotic content. No. Lucian Blackwater Guard. Now, this is the quest log. All you have to do is press L to open it up. And it gives you different zone quests that you have. Now, this Cultists and Dogs. Cultists and Dogs. Where is that? Here we go. Lucian Bodyguard. Oh, wow. They're way over there. Way over there. So I need to go all the way back to that area and start killing stuff over in that corner. Try to do everything at once. Now, when I say a big-ass monster, I mean a big-ass monster. I cannot fight that thing on my own, and there's a lot of them in this area. Now, the aggro range is pretty short, right? Like, I can walk by him, and I'll be okay. He might get a little pissed off if I get really near him. But he's not going to straight-up attack me, because he's just a huge freaking monster, and you're fighting these other little monsters for quests around here, and it'd be really annoying if you always had to watch your back against them. But to kill these guys, the quest, it takes 5 people. That's the recommendation. I've killed big-ass monsters with 2 people, but it takes a long time. I tried to take down one on my own, and I was getting there, but it's taken me about 15 minutes until a random guy came in and helped me take him out. But you have to dodge and weave and move, and you have to be really actively engaged in what you're doing during the game, because you can die, and you can die pretty fast as a priest if you're not paying attention to what you're doing. So, this area, like I said, is unique. Now, the orange dots up there on my map is telling me what I need to kill spawns. So I'm going to head there right now, kill them, collect the quest. Pretty self-explanatory when you're playing an MMO, how MMOs work. You know, you get something, you get some sort of quest, you go kill stuff, and that's how it goes. Now, this is how combat works. I'm first going to fight like this as a priest, straight on. And I'm going to use this ability, and then press spacebar to combine it, and then spacebar again to combine it, and then fire to back away and attack from a distance. And then I can dodge again using tab, which is another move, and fight from a distance. Take a little bit of damage here, but those guys got taken down. Now my big heavy nuke is ready to go. I'm going to use that, press spacebar to combine it with my other moves, and bam, damage dealt. That's how you use your chain effects. Chain skills, which I'll get into a little more in depth later, but that's what I'm doing when I'm pressing the spacebar, is continuing those chains. But it can also work for buffs. I can press one button for a buff, and then it'll queue me for another one, and it'll queue me for another one. So I don't have to continually pressing different hotkeys. So that's the buff, that's the ability I want to use right then and there, which makes it pretty convenient. especially in different scenarios where you find yourself, oh man, I would love to do this right after I healed, right? Well, you can combine that and custom do that in skill chains. So, I need to kill some more guys here. Ooh, got knocked down, but I can retaliate, press the spacebar. Not too hard, right? Now, I have a right-click ability, which is heal thyself, and then to gain mana quickly, I hold down a button, and then mana accelerates here. And then I can press another button, and mana will increase as long as I stay out of combat. Once I enter combat, I'll lose that little buff I have. So here's another... Oh, I do have some crowd controls with Priest here, so I'll sleep this guy. Now, this is a targeting system you have to use in the game when you have abilities that are not like instant casts, where you have to target people. I have to do this with laying down a heal, which I can circle heal, but I have to choose where I'm going to place it. Like, I want to hit circle heal over there. Or I need a target heal, which I don't have any allies. If I did, you'd have to target them. You can target up to 2, or you can use glyphs to kind of mix and match those different skills. You can target up to 3. Anyways, so I'm going to sleep one of these guys here, or I just wasted that. So I'm going to throw down a debuff on him. Needs to be debuff. These guys are going to attack me. Do a little combo here. 1, 2, 3, and then back up before I take damage. No, missed that. Back up. There you go. Back up. Attack from a distance. Back up again. Now, those are both abilities that use a little bit of MP, but not a whole lot. And there is a bit of a cooldown, so you can't just keep spamming that. You have to be tactical in your decisions when you make to dodge. But dodging is very important. And the dodge radius of taking damage from enemies is pretty good. If an enemy swipes his hand and you're able to dodge and it's big enough that you're actually physically under his hand, you're not going to take damage. But if he rolls on top of you and he's still on top of you, you're going to continue to take damage until you're not touching him anymore. So, enjoy that mechanic. Oh, I pressed the wrong button. Attack from a distance first. So I can mix up here. I can do 1 and 2, but they were too far away for me to do any damage to those abilities. The range was a small cone in front of me. I'm taking a little bit of damage here. Spamming my regular attack. Throw down a chain attack here. That guy's not going to make it. He goes down. Myself. So as a priest, you're not too weak to go on your own. And I've spent most of this game on my own leveling up, which is great. I feel like a caster class. I mean, a weak caster class, but I can do enough damage and keep myself alive to enjoy the game as a single player, which is very important in MMO because we can remember the history of Final Fantasy XI, where you had to have had a healer, aka a white mage, to be with you at all times when you're trying to level, especially as a group, because if you didn't, you weren't going to go very far, and the game would just slow down. And that's not fun. That is not fun. But I enjoy playing a healer because I'm always in demand. And it's nice being always in demand compared to being DPS, where everybody wants to play DPS, right? So I've just enjoyed playing a healer since almost the end of my reign in World of Warcraft. Star Wars: The Old Republic, I played a healer. And I enjoyed it a lot. So, just continue killing some more guys here until I finish this quest. You can totally swim. Show that off real quick. And you can totally see your underwear when you swim. But the swim mechanics, you can't dive. But you can swim. See a different flora and fauna here. Very nice, very lovely. A little bit too much damage there. Gotta watch out what I'm doing. The dodge! Missed his attack like a boss. Oh, he's gonna attack again? Is he? No, he's just standing there. He did. He went and attacked. What's a cool mechanic about this game, too, is sometimes when the enemy's about to do a big attack, their eyes will flash red real quick, so you can know how to counter it or get out of the way, which is very key to see when you're fighting big-ass monsters. And that's the technical term for the monsters in the game. Good question, Samuel. The stamina system is an interesting buff mechanic system. And what it does is it actually increases my HP and my MP. So my HP right now is 11,409, but I have a boost, a buff of 2,934. And the same with my MP, right? You see that little boost is 687. Well, that's because my stamina is above 100. Now when my stamina falls at 100, I'm at where I'm a little bit of a buff, but it continues to go down to 0. I'll be cut off about right to this region on the map here where that finger is. That's where my HP and my MP will be. Now, you lose stamina gradually by fighting and by using actions like you would in the real world, right? So, to gain stamina, there's 3 different ways. One's to use a potion that's expensive, where you can find them, they'll drop occasionally. That'll completely recover your stamina. The other one is to pay money at this little dude at the major villages or towns to recover your stamina, or is to stand next to a campfire. And they have big campfires at the different cities you go to, or you can take campfires with you. And as I'm sitting next to the campfire, my stamina goes up. Plus, I can use these different abilities, these different items I have here, 3 different kinds. Ethereal Charm, it's a defense charm. This is a supplementary charm, and there's another charm in here which is an attack charm. So I can use all 3 as I'm standing next to a fire, that I'll get a buff that will last for 15 minutes. And you'll see it come up here in a second. 1, 2, and 3. And what's cool is the buff ticking doesn't start until I enter combat, or until I leave the fire. So that's how the stamina system works. I like the system because it's like a natural buff built into the game, and when you take a break, it's to increase your HP and MP. But what really sucks is when you die, it goes all the way down to 0. And it takes a little while for it to get all the way up to 100 or 120 when you're standing next to a fire. That's why people will pay money to the vendor, or they'll use that potion to have the stamina increase. So I'm just going to kill a couple more guys here. Finish up this quest. And I try to group them up when I do these bigger abilities, because they do a lot of damage in a cone in front of me. I'll dot this guy real quick. Did that not work? Target. So, press the wrong button there. Targeted. There it goes. He's going to take some damage. And I just need to kill one more Blood Weaver. There he is. He's going down. Oh, ability wasn't ready yet. Let's see that circle on the ground. If I stayed in there, I'd be taking damage right now. So he's going to go down real quick here. Come on, come on. Use your ability. There you go. 2 and 3 and fire escape. Good to go. So, killed all that stuff. Malicious Jester and Kobold Mercenary. Where are those guys? Moonlight Sabertooth, those little witches down there. Okay, so all that stuff is down below. So I'm done in this little area right now, so I can leave. But you know what? I'm going to teleport myself to the closest little base here, so I can turn in. Hopefully it's the right one. And that really comes in handy. There are, I don't know if there's raids. I haven't, okay, I just went to my closest campfire. I didn't know you could do that. That was a mistake. I don't know if there's raids. I'm sure there is. There are instances, which they have an instance finder for you, that I haven't really used yet because I was able to group up with people that were close. They don't have an events system like Guild Wars 2. The more partying up, doing things in the world is killing these big-ass monsters, and that's what people party up for in these areas. I have actually 2 quests to kill them. Sometimes I skip them because I can't coordinate with the team. Sometimes I'll try to see if I can coordinate. When I mean coordinate, I mean put a team together, tank, DPS, and healers. That's the mechanics that this game uses. It's tank, DPS, and healers. I call it the classic core of MMOs. different play styles. Anyways, so I'm going to get to this little base camp here. And start turning in.
Your face is strange. Is it always like that?
My face is strange, she says. Thank you, little 4-foot tall girl. Okay, another turn in. We'll hang in this area for a little bit. I'll go back to the main town of this particular place and show you just a little bit more of the art style, and then I'll take you to the big city, which is cool. And flying on the Pegasi, or the Pegasuses, however you say Pegasuses, or multiple, the plural of Pegasus, which is actually a name of a horse, but it's a name title now because it's a type of horse with wings. That is pretty cool, and the sound is pretty cool with the beating of the wings, which is really neat. It's really not hard to get around in this place.
How can I help the Federation?
Okay, and then as you can see here, there's a huge campfire that you can stand next to that will increase my stamina, and I could use those buffs if I needed to. But now, we're going to go to the main city here to check it out. Show it off to you guys. Yeah, that's a good point, chat. You know, a lot of games that make MMOs try to copy the success of World of Warcraft. Now, there's nothing inherently wrong with that, because World of Warcraft was so successful, but if you continually try to copy that method that came out in 2004, 2005, it's too dated. We want something else. We want something more. We love to explore. We love to have adventure, but we need to do so in a fun way that keeps us engaged instead of grinding stuff for the same gear, right? WoW turned, after you got to the end of vanilla WoW, it turned into a numbers game. And the numbers game was, I fight this particular boss, and I get better gear. And that better gear gives me numbers. And now I have higher numbers because I have better gear. Now I can fight higher monsters, higher bosses that have higher HP, higher numbers, but also drop higher numbers, drop higher gear. So it all became a numbers game over and over again. And you felt behind if you weren't continually grinding all the time, killing the same bosses over and over again. No thank you to that. That kills any kind of fun you're going to have in a game, doing the same thing over and over again for a small reward so you can keep doing the same thing over and over again. The same thing happened in Star Wars The Old Republic. Star Wars The Old Republic was one of the greatest gaming journeys that had happened. In my opinion, it was the best game of 2011 because of that journey you went on as a single person. All right. But the end game content wasn't there, and that's why subscriptions have completely dropped off, or at least a lot have dropped off. I don't know what their numbers are, but the end content just wasn't there. We were killing the same boss every week, and that was it. And there was no purpose for it. There was no, we're prepping for the next boss we know is coming out. There wasn't any of that. And now there was like a legacy system for creating new characters. I don't care about, I made one character. That's all I'm going to make in an MMO is one character. And that's what I wanted to do with that character. And so that cycle, as you say in their chat, gets so bad. So bad. And so bad for some people because they feel it's addicting. Like, if they don't play, they're going to be behind. If they're behind, nobody's going to want to take them in their raid. If nobody takes them in their raid, then all the hard work that they've done over the years for maintaining their gear is all to waste, right? And that's not the kind of environment I would want to be a part of, or I'd like to have fun in. Right now, just going through this game and going through the levels, I like looking at the different art. I like meeting different characters and seeing different characters and models. There's a couple little small cutscenes that are okay, nothing really very good Hollywood-style stuff. But seeing a little bit of the story and where it goes, it's nice. And I like to appreciate a little bit more of this Korean art style and this Korean presentation of an MMO. I played Aeon, which was a previous Korean MMO that was a huge grind fest. This, compared to Lineage 2 or Aeon, is not a grind fest because of a better quest system. However, I found a different camp here. Oh, more quests! Look at that, more stuff to do.
Enjoying your free time,
Anyway, just because reading text is a little bit old now when it comes to an MMO, I don't really bother. All this stuff, it doesn't really matter in my character story. It's like, oh, help me, I need this, I need that.
Choice, no chance.
But yeah, I'll help you. I'll help you. But yes, the art design in this game is fabulous. It is really, really good. Oh, now it's taking me to the main city again. And the leveling is pretty steady in the 30s right now. It was nice getting over that hump of 30. And the highest level you can get to in this game is 60. So it's nice knowing that I'm over that hump of being halfway there. I don't know if I'm going to get all the way to 60. I hope I do, but I really need to start prepping for Diablo 3, and I need to continue to keep playing StarCraft 2. I have over 100 wins. Or 100 games or 100 wins? I don't remember. Of just this season alone for StarCraft 2. I've been playing that a lot. But it's nice just to sit down, not worry about ladder anxiety, or losing to 2-base Colossi, and just, you know, checking out these different places. And I'm glad you guys could join me for tonight. To do that, shifting gears, I talk a lot about esports, talk a lot about the news that happens in pro gaming, but also I like to check out all different types of games and entertainment. And this is one that I was a little bit on the fence about even checking out, but I'm glad I did, especially because of the art and appreciating the kind of beauty that it is. With that being said, there's something I'd like to do that will be a bit of a surprise. But if any of you ever watched Conan O'Brien, when Universal Studios and NBC partnered up, that meant that anybody at NBC got access to the video that was with Universal Studios. And the types of video that were with Universal Studios was Walker, Texas Ranger. And so what Conan O'Brien did was he had this lever that he would use at random times, and it would play a clip of Walker, Texas Ranger. Now, I don't have rights to play Walker, Texas Ranger, but Twitch TV is a video game website, and there is a video game coming out in 2 weeks exactly that I think we're all excited about. And I have a magical little button on my keyboard that if I press, something diabolical will happen. But when I'm going to press that button, I will not tell you, but you'll just have to wait and see. Anyways, if you're joining us, this is Tera Online, a game originally from Korea that was released in North America today. It is a subscription-based MMO. It is a beautifully designed game. The action combat is cool. And I'm just checking it out for the next hour and a half. And so I hope you guys enjoy the time you have here. If you have any questions, just throw them up in the chat. But I am playing a priest. I am level 36. And I'm just doing some quests in this area. Covered a lot of the different mechanics at the beginning of the game so far. But I could press that button at any time. At any time! I could press that button. And something diabolical will happen. Not yet. Not yet. But that button's there. Anyway, just going over the different mechanics of this game. This is an action-oriented combat system, which is different than just a tab and target MMO style game that we've seen from MMOs in the past. You actually have to dodge out of the way of different attacks here. If I was a tank, I could use my shield. I could use my shield to actually block attacks, and that's what makes a tank, is if they can absorb those attacks, and if they don't, we're going to have a bad time, because I will run out of multiplayer. To answer your question, Darth, this just released today. I had had pre-ordered the game, so I had access before the official release. That's why I'm a higher level. But it's out. So, saying again, there is a skill chain system here that you can use. I think it's time.
Diablo 3 for PC and Mac. Pre-order now at Diablo.com. Rated M for mature.
Oh yeah, man! Diablo 3. So close! 2 weeks away. 2 weeks away. So, this is one of the port cities that you can attend. I mean, this is like a major hub where you go to and transport to. But right now, I'm going to take you guys to the main city. I'm going to show you what that's like and show you the different raw mechanics and purchase systems that you have in the game that's similar to other WoW, or to other MMOs, other WoWs, yeah, of course, to other MMOs. And to answer your question in chat, you can purchase this game at Tera-online.com, I believe, or just Google Tera Online. And you can buy it digitally. And it's, and yeah, that's all you have to do. You can just buy digitally, which is great because pretty much every gaming format for the PC is going digital. Unless you purchase the collector's edition. So, this is a flight point. Oh, and while I played a lot of Guild Wars 2 this last weekend and really enjoyed it. Yes, this game is $60, I believe, and there is a $15 subscription. Anyways, we're going to fly to the main city, Velica, and feast your eyes on this Pegasus. That is power, ladies and gentlemen. That is power. Thank you, Funny Guy. $49.99 is the price point for this game. The digital version is the same, but you can get a digital deluxe version for $9.99 more, which I got, which you get the Frost Lion mount, which I showed. I'll show again. But this is the game, guys. This is what it's like to fly. I'm not in control, obviously, the Pegasus, but I'm going to enter this warp gate here, and ludicrous speed is engaged. Yes, for an MMO, this is a very beautifully graphic game in a lot of different variables. The characters, the environments, the textures, the city, that backdrop of the city really takes your breath away when you get to see it. Compared to the cartoony graphics of World of Warcraft that are severely dated, guys. Those graphics are dated. Pandas are not going to help anything, I think. But it's definitely a beautiful game. I love the sound. I love the sound of those wings. You like almost feel the muscles of that horse. But as we go through the game, yes, this is on ultra quality. As we go through the game, feel free to ask any questions you have in chat. I'll try to read them and answer them. See a lot of people landing. Oh, the graphics! It's in my eyes! Okay. We're good. So, this is the main city, Velica. And it's an okay city. I mean, it's not huge like Stormwind or Orgrimmar. But there's definitely some serious activity that happens here, and this is where you get your main training and stuff like that. Oh, by the way, here's my lion that can roar. Oh, no roar? Come on, lion. I think there's too many sounds for the lion to roar. We'll do it again later. So, main city, main hub here. See a lot of people that pre-order the game with their Frostline mounts running around. But we're going to go check out what the mechanics are for the different classes. Really a priest. And here you have your priest trainer. Let's see. Okay, my lion should roar now. Come on, lion. Roar. Dang it. We'll roar outside the city then. But the lion looks amazing. So, trainer, real simple, guys. You spend money to train every even level, right? That's how you get the higher levels of the different abilities that you have. So, nothing new there. The glyph system is something that's different. And I already have... Oh, nope. There's 2 I can get. Glyph of Lighting, Glyph of Haste. Wow, that cost a lot of gold. But I need them. So, I just bought those glyphs from the Glyph Master. And now I'm going to right-click them, wherever they went in my inventory. If I can find them. Hello, glyphs. There you are. Okay. Glyph of Haste, Learned, and Glyph of Lingering. Learn. Now I'm going to go into my skills, which is the letter K on the keyboard. And I'm going to go to, and you can see these different little symbols here and what they mean. Unglyphed, Learned Glyph, and Active Glyph. And those are the different abilities I have. Well, glyphs is almost kind of like a skill tree. And you buy those different glyphs to unlock different things you can do with the abilities that you have. So, for example, Divine Radiance, which is what I use on my mouse, and I shoot those little blue orbs. It's my, like, default attack. For that, I have a glyph that increases the attack power by 25%, okay? So if you can imagine those skill trees like they had in World of Warcraft, except it's linear, and you have to buy those glyphs, that's how this works. And so it kind of combined some different systems we've seen in massive multiplayer online games and combine it into this where it does take some money to invest in, but you can choose, pick and choose the kind of abilities you want to have, and you can reset those points that cost a little bit of money to do so. So just going down the line here, Mana Infusion, which is what I press to increase my MP regeneration on amount of combat, increase casting speed by 25%. That's the glyph that I have on here. For Metamorphic Blast, which is an AoE cone type spell, the glyph I have is 20% chance to decrease opponent's attack speed by 15% for 7 seconds. Now this would come in handy if an opponent is coming to me very close. I use that, does damage to him, decreases his attack speed, I can dodge out of there, and he will be slower at damaging me, I will be the same speed as damaging him, he will die, I'll get his fat loots, and I'll walk away. That's how it works. Just moving down the line here, you can see a lot of different glyphs that I bought, but not every one of them is activated. That's because I only have 26 points. Now those 26 points increase, I'll have 27, 28, however it increases when I go up in level. And when I go up in level, I can use more points to unlock these different glyphs. But for right now, if the glyph is in blue, or that dark tint, it is unusable, right? But I'm able to use these glyphs, which is with the Triple Nemesis spell, which is a combo spell I use. And you have the Power Link Triple Nemesis, which increase attack power for the next chain skill by 25%. Metamorphic Blast, which is a very good spell chain to have, and then 20% to decrease endurance by 10% for 7 seconds. So these are little like buffs to your different spells. So that's how the mechanic works in Tera. The skill augmentation. I try to combine skill and spell there, and my brain really didn't make that connection. But the skill augmentation system in the game works like that. Now, just highlighting some of the different skills here I have as a priest. Pretty standard, self-explanatory. You have your healing abilities, resurrect. I can summon my party to wherever I'm at, and the cooldown is only 10 minutes. I can send my entire party to the closest like little base spot, and that cooldown's 10 minutes. So you have like a fast travel kind of spell and class ability, which really comes into handy. And then you have your different attack spells and attack variations. that you can use. And then my racial spell I have is Core Infusion. I'm a high elf, which is a 2-hour cooldown and increases 100% of my magic power, my MP. And then this says increase gathering speed, restores MP continuously after you're resurrected. So these are just some little spells, little abilities that help you as your different race. Like I said, I am a high elf, a very attractive one at that. So we're going to look at chain skills now. Now this is another facet of the game that's pretty cool with the action combat. Oh no!
Rated M for mature.
If you guys missed out, I have a magic button. A magic button that when I press it on my keyboard, something diabolical happens. And I don't know when it's going to happen, but it just happened. And it's not going to be the last time it's going to happen tonight. So looking forward to Diablo 3. I'm going to talk a little bit more about release dates and games and projectivity and longevity and investments and all that stuff, because a huge release is coming out in 2 weeks, and this game came out today officially. So is this going to occupy my time for the next 14 days since I'm graduating school this Friday? I'm going to have a little bit of time? Maybe. Or I could, do some other things like read the rest of the books I need to read and make sure I scan over my Diablo Book of Cain book, and I got the Legacy Diablo book I'm going through, a lot of different stuff. Anyways, so back to Tera. So those are the mechanics of a class, right? And the different classes you have: Warrior, Lancer, Mystic, Sorcerer, Ranger. So you have a number of, I think it's 9 different classes. Anyways, the next thing I wanted to show you guys was just some different areas of the city itself, which is pretty cool. And the music is very pretty. Is my lion gonna roar? Nope, no roar. Lion's mute today. I'll take you to the Freedom Plaza. Freedom Plaza! This is honestly where you have a lot of conversations through the story mode of the game, which is important. Hey, look! Look, the guy looks like a panda! Look at him! A panda on a horse! That's cool. Alright. So, moving into this Freedom Plaza here. This is the Velika Federation headquarters. Can't ride a mountain here. Move your campfire, son! Big library, big important stuff going down for sure. That's what happens when they have to load the textures. There we go. That guy has the biggest axe I have ever seen outside of a Blizzard game. It's huge. Anyway,
Federation.
Let's get a closer look.
Always happy to talk to the youth.
Oh my gosh. Look, I took a huge scrape to the face too. But that's what the character artwork looks like. I mean, you have this huge set of armor this guy's wearing. He has a giant axe. But when he wields that axe, he raises that thing around and slashes, and it feels heavy. It looks heavy. So it was really cool to see those kind of mechanics in the game, as the different classes have those different feelings of, wow, the different movements they have and dodging and attack all look like what he's supposed to be doing in that armor, right? He's not like jumping around like a fairy, spreading pixie dust everywhere and debuffing people. No, he's seriously dealing out damage with that huge axe. Now me, on the other hand, I look like I'm overdressed or underdressed probably for the prom. But we'll go a little bit more into the different fashion statements and armor and weapons in this game a little bit later. But I just wanted to show off some of the artistry of the town and what you look forward to. And like, oh man, I'm done questing for a bit. I'm gonna go turn in, go to the city. There's a little bit of oh, what's the word? Cutscenes. But actually, guys, we're gonna take a quick commercial break, a real commercial break. When we come back, we're gonna continue Tera Online. So don't go anywhere. Back in a sec.
These three friends share a house. We swapped their ride for a Focus. Bad news for their imports.
It's really cool looking.
What about fuel efficiency?
Hey guys, welcome back to Shifting Gears. I'm your host, Clutch. You can follow me on Twitter at Clutch08. You've probably seen a lot of my work in the esports world, especially with MLG, MC, host, interviews, all that jazz. Love that stuff. But on this show, I talk about all sorts of different things, especially esports, but also take a look at different games that have been released, that are being releasing, and check them out. Today, we're checking out Tera Online, which is an MMO that has been released today. So without further ado, we will go back to Tera. Now I showed you guys the city, and thanks chat, thanks for following. Anyways, I am reading the chat actively, so if you guys have questions that I can catch real quick about the game, about any mechanics in the game, lore I don't really know that much about. I'm learning as I'm playing it, but anything I'll be happy to answer here. Will my lion roar? Yes! You roar that lion! It's so cool. That is so powerful. That was worth all the extra $10 for the collector's edition, or the digital deluxe edition. Oh man. But you know what's cool? This! The ad that isn't actually an ad. That's all me. Just throwing out some diabolicalness. Anyways, to answer your question about gender locks, no, there are no gender locks for the classes. I, being a red-blooded male, enjoy the female physique, and so and I usually play male characters when I play MMOs. But I thought, I don't know, man, these girls, like, they put a lot of artist work in this. And I gotta appreciate that art, you know? But I just decided to play a female. So, which, when I get to the party dresses, the different things that you can wear, we'll talk a little bit more about that. But it's funny. Yes, graphics are maxed out. I am level 36. The level cap is 60. And this game is Tera Online. Okay, so I'm going to head back to the place where I was. The PvP, actually, let me check something out real quick, guys. Deathmatch. Create. No. I think I have to create a deathmatch team in order to do PvP. PvP is something I haven't really gotten into because I've been kind of waiting until I get to level 60. So I wish I had more information on that. But let me fly back to where I was, and I'm going to go over the armor system, the item system. So I'll show you beautiful Pegasus here. Por Ilinu. Yes. What's up, Golden Boy, for the win? This is Shifting Gears, a show where I cover all sorts of different games and esports. This is a Korean-based MMO that has been released in America today. I am level 36 because I pre-ordered the game and had early access to it. This is not Aeon. It's almost kind of like the spiritual successor to Aeon. Aeon was another Korean MMO. But this is Tera. I actually got to play this at PAX. They had a cool showing at PAX. They gave me a lot of little beta codes that I gave out to people to have a Regal Frostlion mount. But yes, the graphics themselves, the graphics itself or the graphics themselves? What's the proper way to say that? The graphics, comma, are amazing, period. Let me go through this warp drive here. Warp field stabilized. Boom. I have not tried the crafting system because everything I pretty much pick up I sell to get as much gold as possible. And once I hit level 60, that's when I'll start crafting. I did that with Star Wars The Old Republic because I would just grind PvP and craft at the same time so I could just send all my stuff out. Oh, this place looks so beautiful from a distance. So cool. Anyways, I haven't really engaged in the crafting system at all yet, so try to plan to get there. PC specs, Wawa. Oh man, I updated my graphics card and my motherboard last summer. I'm grateful for the frame rate to be so high right now, but it's because the game is very good and optimized quality-wise. Man, I actually don't remember my exact specs. I'm gonna have to check them out. But get on my lion here again. But let's go back into the center of the city, or at least a nice place of the city. Hey, there's some frogs, just chilling. FPS, Holy Gremlin. Yeah, I've played a lot of different FPS games, man, on console and PC. For PC right now, the most I play is Battlefield 3 and Counter-Strike Go. Battlefield 3, actually, I love to fly planes rather than shoot on the ground. Back in my Air Force days, that's what I was trained to do, is be a pilot. That's actually how I got my call sign, Clutch. That was my call sign in the Air Force. Anyways, Counter-Strike Go, I enjoy playing, and it reminds me a lot of the times I played Counter-Strike way back in the day. Back when the Colt had a scope on it. That was in like beta 4. No, I did not play Requiem, and I did not play Rift. I definitely played Rift. It's a board game, but I didn't play Rift, which people say was going to be, it's going to be the big WoW killer. I did not play. The art style a little bit reminds me of Rift in this game, from what I saw from Rift, but this is definitely an Asian type art style. So let's look at the item system here. This is my inventory. And this is my character. I am a high elf. So I think high elves in the game with their physiology, they actually have like longer fingers, which is kind of weird to see sometimes. But I don't have that many slots when it comes to gear. I have earrings. I have a mask, which I don't have anything for yet. I have a hair ornament I can wear, but I don't have anything for it yet. I have my staff. I have boots. I have my robes or cloak. I have arm guards and 2 rings, and that's it. That's all you have when it comes to gear. Now, you can have these augmentation slots, which for this piece of gear, they have 3, right? And these crystals you can purchase, or they're drops. You pick them up, and they'll have different augmentation for your armor or your weapon. So, for example, I have the Multinius Hexage, which inflicts an additional 5.4% damage to boss. Whoa! Whoa!
Rated M for mature.
Diablo is just taking over my PC, man. I'm fighting him as hard as I can. Trying to talk about Tera. It's all crazy like. So, back to inventory here. Whoop. Wrong button. Wrong button. It's hot. It is hot in Virginia today. Man, that's where I live. Virginia. Not for much longer, though. As soon as I graduate this Friday, congratulations to all you graduating seniors, be it high school, college, or graduate college, or doctors. Very big deal. I'm so excited to be graduating, being done with school probably forever this Friday. So, I'd also like to thank Daigo for being a great mod here. You guys can ask questions in the chat. And, my major is going to be acting. My major is acting, a Bachelor of Fine Arts in acting, to be exactly precise here. So, back to the gear, back to the inventory. These crystals will be destroyed when you die. That sucks. But that's the armor degeneration that occurs when you die, is that these crystals, these augmentation crystals, are completely destroyed. You don't get them back. So, all you have to do to get crystals is buy them, or there'll be drops. Great Julian, if you're correct, there's a chance they'll be destroyed, then that's probably true. I did have 3 in here, but I've died a couple times. So, the art style of the gear is very poignant with the style. And I'm going to show you guys offhand, I'm going to show you on hand what I mean by the art style of the gear. So, oh, come on. Go in further. There you go. So, here's my character, obviously a female, if there's any doubt. Okay, so the robes I have on now are Vindicator's robes. Now, if I put on just Takar's robes, it's like a completely different party dress that I'm wearing. So, it's no, like, color-coded system with the shoulder guards and everything else. It is like one piece. And the only difference that you can have in that piece, honestly, is the robes, the shoes, and the arm guards. So, next one, Sybil's vestments. It's like another cocktail dress. like anybody could stick a sword in me and I'm dead. But that's what I fight with. Like, that's the kind of artwork and armor class type of system they have for priests. Now, for other classes, it's a little bit different. For warrior, she's probably, wearing armor. But, yeah, like, that's what I wear as a priest. So, at first, it's a little bit funny. Not that I don't mind, but just in a battle, that's not something I would wear. So we saw the Jessica's robes. Here's the cook's apron. It's like, I don't know if whoever designed this game actually got a full-on tailor designer for the different curvature, the dresses, the different cuts and stuff. Because this is stuff like Hollywood actresses would wear. I don't know. Like, it's almost too revealing for the red carpet. But it's something that they really decided to go with class and with sexuality and sexiness than, like, the practicality of armor. But then this is just as a priest, though, So, and yeah, that's a girl, and she runs kind of like a girl. But that's something different in a Korean MMO compared to a Western-style MMO even. But we've seen a lot of that art style where women, when they wear their armor, love to highlight their cleavage in whatever way possible, even if it would just mean that a dagger could slice their heart, puncture and stab their heart so easily. You would think you would cover this. But hey, just like chat said, this isn't Game of Thrones realism. This is a game. And I shouldn't be taking damage, right? I'm a priest. I should be healing. Anyways, let me find which one I was wearing. Vindicators, right? Yeah, which is, I mean, they're very pretty dresses. The stats themselves is defense modifier, balance modifier. Defense modifier, it's defense. I mean, it's not hard to understand what that means. But the balance modifier, I believe, is when you get hit and knocked down, it counters that. And if I get hit and knocked down, like, it hurts. And especially if the enemy is still coming towards me or is a giant rolling ball and rolls on top of me, it does a lot of damage, continually does damage. So that's what those mean. Raises max MP. Damage from small monsters decreased by 4.5% and take 3% less damage from monsters with highest aggro. So those are just, you know, stat bonuses to the to the army. You have stat bonuses for pretty much the same for your arm guards. So it's not like attack, vitality, MP power, HP. It doesn't break it down that way. It's just defense modifier, balance modifier, and that's it. That's it. Then you have a couple other stats. So it's kind of simplified. It's kind of simplified that way, which I don't mind really all that much. If it streamlines it and makes it not easier to play, but less of a chore to play when it comes to gear, I'm for that. However, if it dilutes the overall playing experience of, well, I wanted to make this kind of priest with this kind of gear, but I can't because I have this kind of gear, then you lose out a bit of the uniqueness or personality you can make with your different characters. So, interesting stuff. Yes, this is live now. It was released today. And the reason I'm level 36 is because I had access to the game, because I pre-ordered it. But for those that show up a little bit later, I'm going to show you more of the action combat, which I think is really the most exciting thing, besides the dresses, of this game. But you can't escape it! You can't escape the Diablo! It's going to be everywhere in 2 weeks. Can't wait. Yeah, this other TV spot they have is going to play during the NBA playoffs. I think today. If the playoffs are today. Not sure if there is a dungeon system. Like, I have an instance finder. Come on, quest tracker. Which is here. Now, the Cultist Refuge at level 35, which I haven't done yet, I don't think. I could, like, find a group that way. It's like a finder. But no need for me to use it yet. Anyway, I'm going to show off the... I'm going to chat. I'm going to show off the combat system here again for those that missed. So this is your reticle. You use it to aim all of your spells, right? And I'm going to straight up charge this guy and do a combo system with the chain skills. Take a little bit of damage here. I'm going to back out of the way, use that dodge ability I have. I actually have two of them. One I set fire to him, which is that one. The other one I just simply dodge out of the way. Uh-oh, 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 aggro. I got this, I got this. Ooh, taking some damage. Shots fired. I am a priest. I'm a high elf. I am a high elf priest. Priestess, since I am female. Anyway, so the action combat's pretty cool. I wish there's some more people in this area that I could show off what it's like as the different classes to be. Somebody asked in chat, would I recommend this game? Yes, I would. But right now, only to kill time until Diablo 3 comes out. Like, this game is cool. This game, I like the action. I like the combat mechanics. I really like the art style, and I'm glad I played it, right? But in the end, it's an MMO. And you're not going to have that much fun with an MMO if you're playing by yourself, especially when you get to the end of the game. And I haven't checked out the PvP yet. Now, I could be completely mistaken when I actually finally check out the PvP and go, oh my gosh, this PvP is so awesome. It is way better than Star Wars ever had because of the action combat mechanics, and this is something I totally want to invest more time in. That could totally happen. But the amount of fun I have had playing the Diablo 3 PvP at BlizzCon, it almost trumps anything else I want to do in the video game world. But I haven't played the PvP of this game yet. I still want to give it a chance. I gave it a chance. I'm glad I gave it a chance. I've been playing it non-stop pretty much all weekend except for other activities I've had. So I've definitely enjoyed my time. Now I'm going to kill this one more mob here, and I'm going to talk about the things I don't like. And we're going to talk about more of what works and what doesn't in PvPs. PvP is player versus player. Old man, the PvP I played was an arena-style PvP, and I loved it. It's probably one of the best one of the greatest video game experiences I've had in a competitive sense. Like the amount of fun and awesome that occurred here. So let's see. I was gonna kill that mob. And I was going to go from there. Forgot. I said something that I forgot. What's going to happen? Oh, yeah. I know what I was going to do. So I'm going to teleport back. Homeward bound. Well, hold on. Let me show off spells here. So there's a healing circle. There is a regeneration circle. It's a bigger healing circle. You guys have pretty much seen everything that there is to do as a priest. So now, I'm going to go homeward bound. Remember that movie? Which I didn't really go anywhere. So that mechanic doesn't work very well. Anyways, I'm just going to go up to this little tree here and lock... Oh no! Get away from me, pigs! Kind of want to log out here so when I log back in, I'm in a place where I can start killing stuff very quickly. So, I'm going to go over a little bit of the different characters that you can make in the character collection, character selection screen, character creation screen. So there's my character. Oh, I'm going to play the wizard first, Old Man 40. So, these are the different races. You have human, Castanic, Amen, which are like big brutes. Pandas, Poporis, Alines, Barakas, or High Elf, which is what I play. High Elf. Priest, and then you have your different classes. Warrior. Well, Yeah, she's not wearing a lot either as a warrior. Lancer. Yep, not that much either. Those are more the tank class. Slayer. Burst DPS. What's a warrior? Evasion tank or sustained DPS? Melee leather armor. Evasion tank. That's a cool mechanic to think about, an evasion tank. Berserker. Burst DPS. Metal armor. What's Slayer? Slayer's leather armor. Lightly armor. Okay. Sorcerer. Burst DPS ranged cloth armor. Archer, sustained DPS ranger leather armor. Priest, which is what I am, primary healer ranged cloth armor. Or a mystic, this is support healer ranged cloth armor. So those are your different classes you can be in Tera. And, you know, each of the classes play a little bit different. Anyway, the music's very beautiful throughout the game. So if you guys have any final questions for Tera before I wrap up the episode and talk a little bit about kind of the state of MMOs that are happening. No, I don't think any of them have any tails. They may. Things I don't like. It's a good question. The UI is cool. It's cool how you can adjust the AI right off the bat. But the two different maps, like the compass and the map, is redundant. Just combine them. The amount of gold it takes to buy a scroll so you can teleport back to a main hub is way too pricey. They should reduce the amount it costs to buy those scrolls. What else do I not like? The voice acting's okay, but it feels rushed. Even though they do have a bigger name with the guy that played in Battlestar Galactica, and he was also in Mass Effect 2 and 3. He played Captain Bailey in Captain 2 and 3. I can't remember the actor's name, forgive me. But it's cool hearing his voice, but his voice didn't match his character. The story is, it's okay. I'm not really interested. You get to meet a goddess, which is cool. The combat is really the biggest strength of this game, and that action combat really adds a dynamic portion that frankly would feel like another MMO, right? But when I'm fighting against these huge monsters, and I physically have to dodge out of the way and aim to where my healing spells are going to be, or I have to lock onto the different targets for my healing spells, it adds something more to that experience of playing with other people, right? Like I said earlier, I'm okay with the gear system. The less I have to think about all the different gear pieces I have to have, that's fine with me. I just want to play the game, right? The music's good. Lack of voice quality for my character. She sounds a little goofy. When she like does something great, she goes, "Woo!" And it's, I don't know what it is. Just sounds a little off. And that's about it as the game itself. Now, the standard that has been set by Star Wars The Old Republic in terms of telling a story, I feel needs to be emulated by any and other MMO that's out there that wants to incorporate a story into their game. Because honestly, Star Wars The Old Republic, I was playing to know what was going to happen in the story, not just to get to level 60. Tera, I'm playing more to get to level 60 and see what it's like, right? And see the different areas. But I don't feel that much of an emotional investment in the story. And relating to characters and relating to a story and going on a journey not just to get to a number, not just to get to 60, but to go on a journey to see how it's all going to end is way more immersive and way more justified to spend that time, right? When I think of Star Wars The Old Republic, I think of, man, that was a great journey I went to, and these different things happened, and I met these different characters, and I made these kind of choices. But in Tera, it's like, yeah, I fought these huge monsters, and I was able to dodge them and stuff, and the graphics were great, but that's about it. That's all I'm going to take away from that whole experience, right? And it is different, too, when you're playing with your friends, or if you're with a guild. I'm guildless. I think Wombat maybe plays a little bit, but None of my other friends play. It's just something I want to kind of check out on my own. So that makes a difference as well. If you're into MMOs, and if you've been into Korean MMOs but hate the grind, but you like the art style or you like the approach that the Koreans have taken, then definitely check out this game because it doesn't feel like a grind. It feels like you're going from place to place and doing quests and moving on after you completed the place, not staying in one area and killing the same type of monster over and over again to get one level up. But the state of MMOs, it's who can come up with the next great idea, right? Aeon is now free to play. Rift, I think, is now gone free to play. Different MMOs that they just weren't having the subscriptions they needed went free to play, and they're going to have like microtransactions to sustain them. Guild Wars 2, which was a beta that happened over the weekend, which was a lot of fun to play, and graphically was beautiful. The game wasn't optimized at all to play on for PCs. I had to turn down the graphics and whatnot. Still, the FPS was... when I say FPS, I mean frames per second. But it was a beta, so I can't fault them. But that game felt like an action RPG more than an MMO, which is great, because I felt more engaged. The story, the voice acting, the different cutscenes were cool. They weren't as good as Star Wars story-wise, but it definitely was a lot more than what Tera had to offer, right? The event system was great. Now, people say, well, it just copies Rift, pretty much doing the same thing. It's like, well, if it worked in Rift, then it should work in Guild Wars 2, right? Where I didn't feel like I had to join a group to get stuff done. The group was already there, and we're all killing the same thing. We'd all get credit for it. That was nice. It took away the hassle of /invite, PST, healer looking for group, need a tank, LF1M looking for one more. It just was difficult to continue to do that, but Guild Wars 2 almost got rid of that in the open world, so that was a lot of fun. And the PvP in Guild Wars 2, which to me is the longer lasting value to any game, is the competitive format rather than, oh, can I kill the same boss monster 16 times in 1 week and get one piece of gear that's going to increase my stats? No thanks to that. But if I can sit in Hutball and, BioWare dropped the ball so badly when it came to PvP. They could have capitalized that. They could have casted that. They could have made that into an esport. It was so much fun to watch and so much fun to play, but they didn't. They cared about legacy and all those other things that nobody cared about, right? So the PvP is already built into Guild Wars 2. That is really exciting. And the system that they had felt fun. It felt balanced. Like, if I jumped into a fight against 3 dudes, I was going to die. You know, I couldn't really overpower them. But the world versus world versus world PvP was so much fun. And it almost felt like a Game of Thrones in real life, right? You had the blue force, you had the green force, and you had the red force. And you'd be fighting against the blue force, and all of a sudden the red force would come in, and it was just crazy. And I really enjoyed the bigger aspect, the bigger battleground feel of that game that felt continuous, because it wasn't just 1 versus 1. It was 1 versus 1 versus 1. And it's those kind of steps, it's those kind of innovation and ideas that bring life and newness and longevity even to the old-style MMO of grabbing a quest, killing some rats, and turning it in, and then you can do it with your friends, right? Yeah, it was cool, it was novel to do back in the 2000s in EverQuest, and then it became really cool with World of Warcraft and what they did there. But we're past that now. We're totally, completely past that. And even having a paid subscription now is almost not arbitrary, not archaic yet, but it's almost, wow, you still need a subscription-based style for that, when look at what other games have been doing that's microtransactions or other methods, and they have a way longer longevity, or a lot more success. And that's definitely Riot Games, what they've done there. So we're in this not ebb and flow, but we're in this process. We're in this process of developers are trying new things and adding new things to the MMO front. And I really enjoy the combat system in this game. If Tera is a great success, awesome. Happy for them. If it's not, I have a lot of faith that developers that will look or invest in future MMOs will learn from Tera, especially from its combat system and its simplicity and very, very gorgeous art style. When I mean simplicity, I mean in its item system, but in the very gorgeous art style. So that is my presentation, guys, on Tera Online. I hope you enjoyed it. I do suggest you check it out. If you're into MMOs and if you feel like you want to try something different that has, that MMO continual leveling up feel, checking out new places, going on an adventure. It's almost like reading a 1,000-page book, right? You want to go on some adventure, you want to see something new. I definitely recommend to check it out. Lastly, I'm going to go ahead and exit the game here. Lastly, though, it is really tough to release any kind of game when they have... No, quit. I meant quit. Crap. It is really hard to release any type of game in any time frame within 2 weeks. It could be, not on the same day, a week before, 2 weeks before, even a month before. That requires a subscription, that requires a lot of time, that requires months of time to fully enjoy when you have Diablo 3 coming out. So that is what I've heard from a lot of different people in the space of esports and my friends and the gaming community of, oh, Tera looks great, but I'd rather save my money and not invest in that game or my time in that game when I know I'm going to be playing Diablo 3 all summer long, plus when it's released. So that, I feel, is the biggest struggle that Tera has to overcome. The game itself has strength because it's been in Korea for a while, so as far as bugs and testing and stuff like that, they've gone through that in Korea, and now it's just being transported over to the Americas. But I thank you guys for watching. I have a couple more minutes here, so if you have any questions about Tera Online or the state of MMOs, feel free to shoot them off real quick in the chat. But I'm really excited to be graduating this Friday. Oh, it's been a long time coming, and I want to thank everybody that has supported me through my academic career. I'm going to read this question out loud. As a game programming student focusing on game physics, what mechanics-related issue would you say is the number one thing you think MMO should get better at or fix? Physics. What Tera does great is the actual presence of the enemies feels real compared to just tab, hit one to attack, and start going, right? Like, I look at an enemy, I start attacking them, and I physically have to move around that enemy, right? So any sort of like clipping issues or just walking through character models, it makes them feel one-dimensional or two-dimensional. But if you have a character model that I mean, not only does it look three-dimensional, but it feels three-dimensional, I think is a big thing in MMOs. Does that character actually take up space? And do you have to move around that space? Is there actually a presence there? The connectivity of combat, Star Wars did a good job. You saw some cool lightsaber fire. Having different animations for the same attack would be cool. A lot of more in-depth animations to dodging, and that back and forth between yourself and the enemy. But those are kind of really broad notes, man. I mean, as the technology comes out more and more, we'll see more and more of those things, right? But Tera looks really good and plays really good for an MMO. I mean, this could be a single-player game back in the mid to late 2000s. As far as how it works, and even graphically. Just reading the chat here. Problem with Tera is it always kind of failed once overseas. Yeah, one of the reasons why some people say it didn't do as well in Korea is because it's not a grind fest, and the Koreans love or really enjoy that grinding system. Which Western players don't like at all. We don't want to sit in the same area for a day just to kill the same stuff and get one level out of it. We don't find that entertaining. That's why I stopped playing Aeon. And yeah, so maybe the business model or the type of game they thought would do better here overseas. And I really do wish Tera success. I do, because I think they bring something new to the MMO environment. The PvP I still have to play, and that to me is a huge, huge part of any game that should be coming out for the PC, unless it's a single-player game. So, anyways, guys, I'm going to sneeze. Excuse me, I don't know where that came from. I appreciate you guys watching. Shifting Gears is a game variety talk show. I like to play and talk about different games from time to time. I like to highlight indie games, but I also love to have guests on and talk about the state of esports and events and competitive gaming. So this is your first time watching. I appreciate you guys checking out the channel. You can follow me on Twitter at Clutch08, Clutch08. And the show goes live every week, Tuesday at 10 p.m. at this channel, twitch.tv/Clutch08. As for me, like I said, I'll be graduating I'll be graduating Friday, and Tuesday will be the next episode. It will be completely Diablo 3, and it's going to be fun. Probably go into the lore, talk about the lore of the game, the characters, what to expect maybe in Diablo 3, and really get prepped and pumped for that game. Then the following week, I wouldn't expect you to watch any Shifting Gears because Diablo 3 is out and you should be playing that game, not watching shows. So there won't be an official show of Shifting Gears, but I will be streaming Diablo 3, starting probably right when I get the game, like 12:01 a.m. Monday night, Tuesday morning. So we're going to go out with a bang. Let's do both of them. Here's the first one.
PC and Mac. Pre-order now at Diablo.com. Diablo.com. Rated M for mature.